Hello, hello. Doing a recap here, except, I don't even know what to say at this point. So, on the hourly, we hit, bingo, exactly what I was looking for before long, right? The 5 and 10 daily SMA to then, if we started down here, to then recover and recover at least half the channel. Now, recovering at least half the channel, of course, does not mean short upon hitting that half channel. If we look at the 5 minute chart, that half channel was right around here, which is right about where that line I drew. We hit that half channel at 340, got the dump to the 5 and the 10 daily SMA, cracked that half channel, got a little back test, and it was just, we got the 5 minute MAC cross down here, but price just kept grinding up, couldn't really get anywhere. If I drop some anchors on the ground, we could not even get under just any of the anchors, right? This half channel dump candle, then the recovery bounced off that anchor there, probably, yeah, maybe an anchor bounce there. Super clearly strong. And now that we are at this near the top of this channel at this point, the reason I don't even know what to say is because I want to see a pullback before I really get into any longs. And am I just a little foolhardy on the longs? Not totally sure. Are we going to come up and now hit this trend line here and find some resistance? Or are we going to just blow it out? It's pretty tough to tell. We got the 5, 10, and 20 now full bullish stack, but not quite spread as much as I'd like. Like to see this back test to the 5 and pump. They're super spread out, but not so much right now. Now, if we go all the way back to here, for example, let's look at this all-time high shove out, and this, coincidentally enough, if you look at that, it's right on a Tuesday. Now, do I really know? Am I really saying any sort of connection to the day of the week? Not exactly, but what I do know is that if we see this all night, right, just that steady nothing burger consolidation, yeah, then I could imagine we could just have a set of grind up days. So with that in mind, now that we are at the top here, all the way back to this, above this 161, way above the daily 2618 fib that I was looking at. Back test this 100. Dang, this was perfect. This is seriously perfect, gorgeous. Now the question then is, are we going to sit and hold this price for a while, confirming potential further breakout? Or are we, draw some, we gonna just hold this, right, and then break out? Or are we going to start selling it off into a dump back into this channel? And we're not here to crystal ball it, but if it holds steady, then it starts to pop, could easily get that. But of course, the market goes up, down, or sideways, so could get just some bullshit on the day, that's for sure. But I'm very, like every night, I'm mostly interested to see how this pans out overnight, and if it's going to hold that price or if it's going to do more like something like this and just start leaking and water falling. Um, if we sit and hold it, though, like this day, that doesn't exactly mean it's like this day got to sell off, but this one couldn't even break the high. I mean, this one today's clearly more bullish. Rip that out. So, um, yeah, to me the question is, are we gonna hold this? Are we gonna hold this price overnight, start consolidating, and then maybe rip up? I mean, you got the election coming up on the 4th of November, so that's going to be just next week. Let me look at my calendar real quick. Yeah, the 4th. Yep, that's going to be on Monday, or the 5th. Oh, I thought it was the 4th. It's going to be the 5th. And yeah, we're going to have to see. I mean, I think after the election, it will probably be bullish, but that's some serious crystal ball. Let's take a look at the SPY and the Qs daily chart. Yeah, now the Qs did touch this upper Bollinger. I don't put too much emphasis on the Bollinger, except when SPY starts above it, we're probably going to back test at least the Bollinger. So there's that, like start above, back test. It's got to really actually start above though. Start above, almost back test. Start above, back test. Start above, back to it. 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 Start just on it. That's fine. We can get some bullishness. Above, back to it. Above, kinda, back to it. Yeah, so I mean, you can see above, back to it. Right on it. If it's right on it, I don't make a call. All right. Above, back to it. That one actually accelerated into a massive dump. So you see. The point is, if we start above that, probably going to come back and back test it. That's like the only reason I keep the Bollinger bands on this chart for both of these. So I should have just clicked that forward button, but whatever, we're almost there. But we're not even close to really opening above the Bollinger on SPY. I don't think Qs. I actually haven't looked back too many. Yeah, Qs doesn't really have as much. Like this one started clearly above it and just pushed out and never really back tested much. I mean, it got close enough. Like that's. I wouldn't have been asking to come back into the Bollinger or anything like that. But Qs, can definitely rip a little harder, but still, it should generally back test if it starts above it. And the Qs are actually at a point where they could then start above it and back test. So I'm not just going to be like bullish immediately tomorrow, but I mean after this forecast here is not going to be nearly as strong because I mean this was a solid call, and then up here I was bearish back down into the channel, and here off of like the 50 and the 20. But now I really like my only, I think, reasonable call would be shove up to the top. So maybe we, hold this, whatever, and then get up to the top and then maybe come back down. The point is, I'm not just going to short because it's high up. Like just because it's up here, I'm not going to short. But so it's really going to be dependent on that overnight. Look at the ES. NQ daily, you know, well above that 2618. Looks started on the 2618, just ripped out. It's funny because this one started on the 2618 and absolutely dumped out. So just all about kind of that trend for days that start out like that. I mean, this one and these started near it, dumped and then pumped it. Whew. So, I mean, we still have the 2618 as a potential target, and if we kind of maintain this doji and don't gap up, we could easily pump above the Bollingers to hit that target. So there is that. Although I don't think the futures. No, I guess they sometimes do. You know, let's not try to extend my strat into anything else. But okay, and then steady upward consolidation on ES, right? I mean, higher highs-ish, except for this day. But yeah, it's the higher high, right? But then a lower high is my point. So higher lows each time, kind of consolidating up. Looks like that actually... Yeah, a decent gap up. Nothing crazy high. And then, I mean, if we come back down towards this area, perhaps this 1618 and this trend line then becomes some support, but it'll have to be quick. So I just, you know, this recap, and you got to know when. This is actually a big lesson I've been taking in. You got to know when your analysis is confident and when it's not, and when it's not to just lay off a little bit. So it's like I want to be bullish, but we're so high up that I'm going to need a pullback. But I will not be standing in front of this train to get a pullback. We've got our anchors. I mean, the anchors are pretty easy. I will drop another one here because that is the force up anchor, the one that decided, like, no, we will not break a single sequence high or low. We're just going to pump out some more, and then I've got this anchor here. So we have to see about what they turn out. I mean, I will go ahead and put those on my 15. On this chart. And we're going to see how that works. And then, yeah, I mean, I think I'll just wrap it up with that because I really don't have a whole lot to say. I mean, I think realistically, we're probably just going to sit here and consolidate. And then if we sit here and consolidate, probably a further pop. But in which case, I'll just be scalping all of that. So, yep, I mean, I think that does it. I'll go ahead and call it early for a short video on this one, and then we'll come back to it tomorrow and see what actually happened overnight. All right.